Hello, everybody, and we're back again from Talk Football Live. I've got Akintayo, Biodun, and Ola here with me. Before we go any further, please like, share, subscribe if you're enjoying the videos, and we're going to be delivering weekly exciting content with updates from games in the Premier League. We've got two big games coming up this weekend that we're going to be previewing. City against Newcastle early, the Saturday kickoff, lunchtime kickoff. And we have the big one on Sunday, Liverpool, Man U. Liverpool is back up now. They're recovering some form and trying to fight for those European places. Let's see if they're able to do some magic on Sunday. So let's kick it off with the City-Newcastle game, the first game of the weekend. Let's talk about how we see that game going. Is this going to be a clean win for City? City's at home at the Etihad. Newcastle, we know, have been struggling to score goals. Akintayo, how do you see this game going?
It's going to be a little bit tight, tight game, but I see City win the match. Newcastle have been defending all their lives from the beginning of the season, and it gets to a certain point, people discover you, they know your weak points, and where they can get you. So I see them losing the game, 2-0.
Wow, not even a goal scored by Newcastle.
Who is going to score the goal?
No belief in Callum Wilson or Alexander Isak?
Alexander Isak if you see him play, he plays more like a 10 than playing as a 9. Yeah, so he's not the kind of point man that they need. Yes, okay. Wilson is a good striker, but City will not give him the space to even breathe throughout the game. Yeah, so I don't see them posing any threat for them. They will defend from beginning to the end. The only player that I feel that can change the match, but the problem with him is not a consistent player, and that's
and who's that?
Sorry,
Maxim.
Yeah, he's a decent player, but sometimes he plays and he forgets what he needs to do next. So he dribbles everybody, and he forgets what he needs to do the next thing, whether to pass or to he dribbles himself out to throw him or something. So I don't know how, in football anything can happen, but I don't see anything strange happening.
Yeah. Ola, do you think it's that cut and dry? Simple, clean 2-0 win for City.
For the major part, I agree with Akintayo. But I have some, let's look at that team very well. Now, to be honest, to be fair, Man City they've switched up a winning mode right now. If you look the way they're playing in the last few weeks, you can see that this is a team that is ready to go all out and win. And trust me, they have a very, very good tactical manager in Pep. He plays the game like he's playing chess. He knows what he needs to do for every client that comes through the door. Now, tomorrow is going to be Newcastle coming through the door to play at Etihad Stadium. It's going to be tough for Newcastle, very tough. But will Newcastle not be able to score a goal? I kind of disagree. Because let's not forget, Man City defense, there are some issues in the defense. We've seen improvement lately with Ake playing, with Diaz back playing consistently now, but there's still some holes somewhere. Now, you're talking about my guy, St. Maximin. St. Maximin runs. Yeah, I know many times he forgets his brain in the locker room, he runs on the field. But, give him a chance to come in from the bench. It could be very dangerous. When the other guys are a little bit weak or are tired, it can make them run and on. And never can say. So I see a Man City will win tomorrow, but I don't see a 2-0 like that. Maybe a 2-1. I'll go with 2-1. And whatever we see tomorrow has a long way to determine if Man City is really, really ready to challenge. If you will say 4-0, Arsenal, as an Arsenal fan, I'm going to be literally peeing on my pants, But if it's just like a 2-1, there's still a hope, for Arsenal to still, drag it with Man City. But it's going to be a tough game tomorrow. And you know how we start our weekend? When we start our weekend with tough games like this, it's always going to be a great weekend. So we should expect tomorrow in that light. That's what I'll say. 2-1. Man City wins.
Okay. Beto, you've been quiet. You've been observing, analyzing in your head. I know you have some great insight. Tell us, as a Pep fan, as a Pep student, what do you see your mentor bringing up in this game?
Oh man, my wish for tomorrow is that it ends up in a draw, and I've been trying to do some permutations on how that game can end up in a draw. Like Akitayo said, it's possible. It's football, right? Anything can happen. So I'm really hoping that it ends up in a draw, 0-0, 1-1, maybe. Now, this is that game that I hope that Man City will drop points. I see this game. This game is more important for me than Man City Liverpool. And that's because Liverpool has not been consistent. Newcastle has been more consistent than Liverpool. So I'm hoping that this, because like Ola said, if Man City destroyed Newcastle tomorrow, that's a big problem. That's a scare for Arsenal fans, right? So I am looking forward to this game tomorrow. That Man City can drop some points. I am not that confident against their game against Liverpool because of the pendulum swing form that Liverpool has had this season. Everybody's back for Newcastle. Nick Pope is back, so that was a stupid mistake. And they haven't had a good run for the last 3 games. So I'm hoping that this is a game that is to actually keep their top 4 finish alive. So they have their own personal goal that they will be chasing, right? And I'm hoping that will kind of encourage them to turn around things. They haven't done well in the last few games. The problem with Saint Maximin is quick, and it's quicker than most of these guys. So, and I think Etihad has been struggling to fit Alexandra Isak into the team. And I think that's one of the challenges he has had. Like Akitayo described him, it's not really a striker. So he's been struggling to fit him into that team without making them open and vulnerable. If Willock was fit, I would actually prefer Willock to start tomorrow. Willock give them some kind of cover. Willock is hardworking. Maximin exposes them because of the way he attacks. If you're going to play Maximin and at the same time play Callum Wilson, you might be opening too much gap in that last third of the opponent. So he needs to figure out how to play Maximin and Callum Wilson at the same time, because they need somebody to do that hard work. The game against Arsenal, they had everybody on their toes. Joelinton, Willock, everybody was running back. I'm not sure if Maximin would be able to defend that much, even though he provides a very full-on attack and speed, which I think it's good to actually push Man City back, because the way they like to swamp you in that third and come out and turn it into a back 3. But maybe Walker is going to play tomorrow. And Walker is the most intelligent and senior that also has the pace to keep Maximin in his pocket. That might be a good idea. If it's going to be a regular formation that we used to have with Willock and Joelinton, I think that's a very conservative style, which I think Eddie should consider tomorrow. I don't think they should go for a win. I think they should go for a draw as an Arsenal guy, and I'll be grateful if they can snatch it.
Okay, so you're hoping for a draw, but what does your head tell you?
That tells me like a narrow win, like a 1-0 win or 2-1. Like City will squeeze out something. I mean, just think about the way Mahrez and Grealish have been playing so far. They've been on good run, right? Those are the top wingers right now on Pep's side, right? So Grealish and Mahrez. And when Mahrez fails to deliver, then he brings in, Foden or somebody. Right now, we know where Bernardo Silva plays. He's going to play in that midfield. So he's playing like our own Zinchenko right now. So I don't think he's going to go to the side for a while. But Grealish, you need to cut that guy off. He creates fouls, he wins balls, he wins fouls.
Okay, Trippier is matured enough.
Yeah, Trippier is matured enough. I think he should be able to handle that. So, these are Dambon and these guys are tall. So any ball into our land, obviously they will win those balls. I'm not worried about balls crossing into the box. We have tall. Newcastle have tall defenders. Dambon, Shah, all these guys are tall. we're able to address those. It's those balls on the ground with the way and the trickery from Grealish and Mahrez trying to break that defense and cut back into the middle for De Bruyne and all these guys to make a chance. City will always find a way, and it's going to depend on the resiliency from that Newcastle to survive that 90 minutes.
So you brought up a very interesting point, right? You mentioned the threats Grealish and Mahrez pose. What I've noticed over the last couple of games is Foden is now back fit, right? What he's been doing was, I think the first game Foden was back available, he rested Mahrez and Foden started on the right. And then in the next game, I think that was in the Champions League, Grealish, or maybe in the cup game, Grealish was benched and Foden started. Who do you all think start tomorrow? Will it be Grealish and Mahrez, or will one of those sit for Foden? Because I think that makes a difference in terms of how City attack, right?
For me, it doesn't matter whoever starts. Whoever plays that left wing for them is going to have a tough time with Trippier. We all know that. So Grealish or Foden, it doesn't matter. So here's what's going to happen. And I can bet you with my life, tomorrow, you're going to see the goal. The goal will not come from the wings. No goal is going to come from the wing because they have very.
Are you saying Haaland? Are you saying Haaland returns to form then? Because especially for FPL, a lot of managers have been reconsidering sort of captaining Haaland.
The only way they will have that breakthrough is those killer pass coming from the central midfield, and that's no one but De Bruyne. If they can stop the flow of the supply of the ball from the midfield. Let Trippier do his job. Let with this Shah that plays left. Let those guys do their job. But so make sure you stop the supply from the midfield. We all know Haaland. The only way to stop Haaland is not to try to stop Haaland. Is the only way to stop Haaland from scoring is stop the flow of the ball to Haaland. Haaland is not the guy that he's just trying to do it. Go deep to go and get the ball, walk the ball, like you will see with. These guys from Tottenham, Harry Kane. Harry Kane can go all the way back to walk his go all front. Haaland is not that kind of player. The only way you can stop Haaland is stop the flow of ball to Haaland, and you can do that with stopping De Bruyne tomorrow. From the wing, I don't see any chance. Those guys are very solid. They are 2 and 3, left and right, full back, very solid guy. So what I'm looking for is how they can stop the flow of this ball from the midfield.
Okay, so let me take us back a little bit. The first matchup, right, when these two teams met, that game actually ended in a 3-3 draw, right? Newcastle raced into a 3-1 lead, and ultimately City came back and equalized.
Right.
I can tell you, do you see any chances of that happening? Is there any hope for Newcastle?
No.
No.
Right now, it's their down period. Like every other team gets theirs. It's their period right now. So
Newcastle,
so meeting Man City at that point in their time in their life, they should forget about it. I don't think so. The best they will have is have a lot of yellow cards in this game.
So let me give my own prediction then. I'm gonna break it up and say it's going to end in a 1-1 draw. That's going to be my prediction.
And
in that game, there's going to be a winner.
Okay. I don't see Newcastle winning though. But
the City. That's what I'm saying.
Let's see whether
Newcastle can win. Yeah.
All right. So let's. Yeah, Bjorn, did you have something?
No, I completely agree with you. I just wanted to call out that the last 2 games that Newcastle had lost, you need to understand what happened. And I was really disappointed with the Liverpool game. The Liverpool game would have been an exciting game if not for that mistake by Pope. It changed everything. And they carried that one into the FA Cup game, and that affected them. So before that, their challenge had been they were getting tired of the style that they were playing too defensive, and they were not scoring, but they were not losing. They were just playing draws. They were not losing the game. So the team is back. And I would expect them to have that mental capacity to stand up against City. Everybody knows the way City plays. It's going to come out trying to bully the opponents. Newcastle can handle that. As a matter of fact, somebody called my attention to the Arsenal-Newcastle game. The entire period that real game was played, out of 90 minutes, was not more than 60 minutes.
Yeah.
Go check it. The entire time that they played game, it was 60 minutes, 6-0. They did every tactics, stupid tactics, negative tactics, falling down, wasting time, doing that, fouls and all that. They can repeat it, and I want them to repeat that style tomorrow. So I'm hoping for a draw.
Yeah, let's see. Pep Guardiola mentioned in his press conference, he said something. He said Newcastle have a lot of players that are very good at carrying the ball 40 meters. And he was referring to the likes of St. Maximin. He was referring to Jordan. I think Almiron. And he referred to those players. So, and he said something. He said City usually don't concede a lot of counterattacks, which I think Newcastle will actually threaten at doing. So I think, like Ola said, it's going to be an exciting matchup, and it portends a lot of, good games for us this weekend, hopefully, without kicking us off.
Well, one question to you guys. When you say matchup, what do you see between the challenge between Trippier and Grealish? Who would you go for? Who's going to win that one-on-one?
It's Trippier all the way. For me, it's Trippier.
Sure about that? Trippier, Grealish?
Look, let me tell you something.
I think
Grealish has not been... I don't put Grealish in the league of top 3 wingers.
It's been the most informed City guy so far.
Let me tell you what I've seen. Just look at he has caused a lot of problems for defenders, but let's look at what he's doing. Put it aside with even player like Martinelli. Martinelli will give a defender more problem than Grealish. Grealish has this hyper name. He's scored goals lately. He was involved in goals like assist and all of that. But I haven't seen he doesn't have this spectacular way of playing. Let me give you an example. We know Martinelli is all about running, right? He's very quick and he has goal sense. Okay. We know players like Salah. He has all the tricks. He can score with his head. He can run. He can dribble. Tell me what Grealish has that is spectacular.
Grealish
is adept.
Grealish is a brilliant player. Trust me.
Yeah. He's adept at carrying the ball. The ball sticks to his feet.
One-on-one with any player, that guy will destroy anything.
I think it will be a balanced matchup.
Trust me, because if Trippier is not careful, he will get a yellow card from him.
What gives Trippier a little bit of advantage is they both play for England, and I'm sure they know each other very well. So I think it will be balanced. Grealish is on form at the moment. I talked about it a couple of weeks ago. I said he was starting to find his fit at City. He was starting to come up with goals and assists, and I think he will, deliver again tomorrow. But he will be shut down a lot.
He's going to be busy getting free kicks for them. And that's to their advantage.
He has drawn more fouls.
He's been lucky.
This is
all that. You just mentioned it. Exactly what I was about to say. He's been lucky. I mean,
that is what you want your wingers to do, though.
That's what you want them to do. They come players on the wall. And we
pick it. It depends on the referee. What if the referee tomorrow doesn't?
No referee will not give him a free kick.
Grealish has always drawn foul, and the referee calls it. Unlike Saka.
Yeah, what?
You know how many choices
the game is
fouls tomorrow, and that's a problem. Now, Newcastle, if it was Jolinton, I'd work with to deal with him. The point I'm trying to make, and that what I called it out, it cannot be a one-to-one tomorrow. It has to be a pack.
Somebody help him out.
You all forget. Almiron will drop back and hop on that way.
Yeah, most likely.
But let's move on to the Liverpool Man U game. The Newcastle game is coming up in a couple of hours, and we'll get our questions answered very soon. All right, Liverpool, Manchester United. Manchester United are on form. They are coming fresh up of a cup win, and the charge from Fernandes to the rest of the boys was, let's go get more. Right? He said that was just the start. How do you all see Man U performing against a resurgent Liverpool? Liverpool will be at home at Anfield. Bioro, your thoughts?
Okay, all right. So Liverpool win tomorrow. We'll take them from 10 to 42, and they will keep Manchester United at 49. That is what I'm hoping for. It's an Anfield game. The problem is nobody is willing to bet on Liverpool at this point. So that's just the unfortunate thing. But tomorrow I wanna go with Liverpool win. Salah, Nunes. Did we see the run this week from Nunes? I ran into.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So I think if you can continue to do that, we know his finishing has not been great so far. But if you can keep making those runs now, how will he make that run? I don't know. To your point, Hayo, Man U has really been impressive this season. I give it to them. Their style is different from the way I like to play because I feel it's just too negative. They will contain you. They will contain you, and they have their reliable players, which is Rashford. And we keep saying, take Rashford out of this equation, they're going to struggle. He is on that cloud nine. His confidence is so high that when he gets the ball, he believes he can turn it into a goal. And he's been doing that. So now they have players coming back to support him. Sancho has overcome his confidence issue. You have Garnacho. People don't like Weghorst. But the coach keeps playing the guy. And that's like, what is going on here? You know, I mean, I see the job he do because you want to play a player that is committed and is passionate and is putting in his best. He's a very hardworking guy. So he keeps getting the nod to start. So I wouldn't expect a change in the lineup for Man United. I think it's going to be the regular one that we've seen. It's going to be a Fred, Casemiro in the middle of the pack. And with that Casemiro boy, man, I thought it was one of the greatest transfer mistake of the season. I have to eat my words. I think they have acquired one of the best players in the world. As a matter of fact, to me, he is the best in that position right now because he sees everything. He sees and intercepts everything. He sniffs all the danger. He's a K9 on that field. He sniffs all the danger. And that is the protection that is given to that team. So it would take a very hardworking and a smart team to score them. Whether by corner kicks, set pieces, you just have to find a way. But if you're going to play through them, I think you're going to have to sweat. You're going to have to play a long-range shot. You're going to have to find a way to score. Taking out Casemiro. That's the problem that teams have playing against them. Because you have to find other ways to score them outside of Casemiro. That guy knows how to coordinate his defense and is giving them that shit. But regardless, Liverpool's goal is to get back to Europe. They know that Champions League, they might be out with that goal deficit to Real Madrid. This is the chance to get back to the top four, which I think they have a very likely chance to actually even overtake Newcastle the way they are going.
All the way into fourth?
Yeah, I think it's possible because it's 2 games, right? Right now they are at 24. So they have a game in hand. So winning tomorrow will take them to 42. 25. Then they're going to have a game in hand, which could take them to 45 and be at level with Tottenham if Tottenham fails to win. So that's their projection. The game against Crystal Palace, they thought they were going to win. If they had won that game, they would have moved close to 5th. But they didn't win that game. So that kind of sets them back a little bit. That performance against Crystal Palace was woeful. That wasn't a good performance. But I think
you can now Newcastle from that equation right now because Newcastle still have 20.
Yeah, Newcastle has 2 more games as well.
2 more games.
Yeah, and but I'm targeting. Yeah, I'm targeting Tottenham for them. Tottenham is going to make some mistakes, right? So that's the way I see it. Now, Liverpool, Man U, it's always an interesting game. It's always Liverpool winning in Anfield, and Man U winning in Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So I am going with that history, and I think it's going to be a win for Liverpool.
And I think you're going with that history, not just with the history. I know you'll be on them very well. You're wishing they don't even move close to us.
Yeah, because I don't like Man United.
Because you don't like Man United. So, see, people that are listening, I just want to make that.
Man United is already boasting a quadruple. What kind of pride is that? That's arrogance.
I know. All right. So for me, tomorrow.
Yeah, I was just saying. Yeah, go ahead.
It's all about 2 guys, Casemiro and then what's my guy's name again? Rashford. So without Casemiro and Rashford, there's nothing like Man U this season. We all know these 2 guys have dominated that team, helping them whether through scoring, whether through commanding the midfield, like Casemiro does. Casemiro is not just a player. I think I call him the field marshal. He knows He knows where the ball is coming. He can literally predict where the ball will land, and how he just have this good vision that it's very rare to see in EPL. I haven't said that, but the game is not in Old Trafford. So what we've seen this season with Liverpool is that there's this pride that comes with them playing that field. Now playing one of their arch rivals in Man U, it's going to be a tough game, for Man U. It's not going to be like a walkover. So what we've seen lately with Liverpool is we see them coming back. I call them reincarnated. They have this reincarnation spirit inside them. They wake up today, they die tomorrow. But the last 3 games, they have proven to us that they have something right now. If you look at the last game, their defense is coming back. We have, Simicas seems to be holding his field on the left. On the left, Robertson, I don't know if he's going to be able to make that game tomorrow. Alexander-Arnold is beginning to bring his brain from locker room into the game. It's not just running around, he's playing with sense. Then Van Dijk, one of the best defenders in the history of EPL, is back and is playing so well. Konate is back too. So you can see that defense is becoming to form shape. And in the front side, I know there's a problem with this guy Nunes, and I've said it from the get-go. It's a guy looks okay on paper and all of that. The first game I watched of this guy, I think he's a guy that lacks maybe his football control. He can run, he can put his heart into everything, but then sometimes the way he controls ball, the finishing and all of that, or maybe it's under pressure. You want to prove this is why I'm in Liverpool. I just don't get it. But I think tomorrow, I expect him to do very well tomorrow. Just because it's Anfield, just because there's a pride behind that game. It's not just going to be the normal, league game. It's a special game. So it's going to be a tough game for Man U, and I think this is an example of those kind of games where Man U comes in and you're expecting them to win and they don't win. I see a 1-0 victory for Liverpool. Not because Man U will not play. They will play extremely well, but there will be a mistake somewhere in that defense side of Man U, and they will concede a goal. That's what I'm looking for tomorrow. Now, is there any matchup I'm looking forward to? A lot. Let me start in the midfield. Now, this guy is playing a very good game right now. Casemiro is playing so well. Fernandes is there. I just don't know how Liverpool can contain these 2 guys, how they can deal with them. Liverpool is there's inconsistent. Who do you want to play? Who want to play these guys?
But yeah, you see Liverpool winning.
I still see Liverpool win. That's the point. It's gonna be
interesting.
Yeah, it's gonna be just what a mistake will come from Man U in the defense line, and they're gonna concede a goal. And then Liverpool goes back, relying on the strength of their defense, and they're gonna defend that 1-0. I have a crystal ball. It's alive. I'm watching that.
I know, because that was a very precise prediction you're giving. An error from Man U causing the 1-0.
I got the crystal ball I can tell I've been using. I went to grab it from his house, so I have it right now in my possession.
That was going to take me to Akitayo. Akitayo, we know your crystal ball in terms of predictions has been off over a couple of weeks, and you missed the last session with us. I think you went to fix it. So please, peer into that crystal ball and tell us what you see after fixing it.
I see Liverpool winning too. I see them winning 2-1.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it's going to be the battle of the midfield, but I see Liverpool in it, 2-1. I see them getting 2-1. Yeah.
2-1.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough game, interesting game, open game. Yeah, but it's going to be Liverpool to win it. Salah scoring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take note of all the FPL folks who have Salah in their team.
Salah.
So I'm seeing another draw in this game, and I say that because despite the fact that we're at Anfield, and despite the fact, if you look at the table, right, Liverpool and Man U are actually in form. 3 wins and a draw from their last 4 games. But with Liverpool, what we've seen from them this season is that their defense has been porous, whether or not Van Dijk has been there. I know earlier in the season we talked a lot about this, whether, is Van Dijk coming to the end of his career. He's 31. He had that ACL injury that he's starting to recover from. And I think there will be goals in this game. I'm seeing a 2-2 draw. That's what I'm.
Let's fingers crossed.
The midfield will be dominated by Man U. I think they have by far the stronger midfield. Fabinho hasn't been that great. They've brought in some energy with Bajcetic, and I think.
But don't rule out Henderson.
But
don't rule out.
Yeah, so that I think there'll be some balance there. When you have Casemiro, Fernandes, and either of Fred or Sabitzer, I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup in midfield.
Yeah, it is.
So I had to shine my crystal ball to make sure that my 2-2 prediction that I was seeing in there was correct, because the way you both called tight win for Liverpool, I had to be like, is there something off there? But I think we're good. We'll see what happens on Sunday.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other games now. So we have an interesting matchup the rest of the weekend. First up for us, Arsenal-Bournemouth game. Akintayo, how do you see this game faring for Arsenal?
Walk in the park.
Nice.
A walk in the park. Simple. Biodola, do you see anything different? Biodun, you've been worried about Arsenal. Sometimes are you fearful at going into this game, or you feel this is a confident game?
Other than them being tired because they've played back to back, this is the second game in 5 days, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have a good squad. What I would love to see again is us scoring enough goals in the first half so that we can rest the players like we did against Everton and give playing time to Smith Rowe and Vieira coming in to rest Xhaka and maybe Saka, right? I would like us to start with the same way we started, which is Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka. I think it's going to be a win. I don't want to be too boastful, but I'm optimistic that this should be easier. I wasn't worried about the second leg with Everton. I was just concerned that if they would come and play that negative game and with so much energy, are we able to match up the energy, which we did? So, I'll pose the question to you. Would you still want us to start with Jorginho first half and bring in Partey?
I think no. I think Partey is fit. I think Partey is fit now. He's back fully in training. We saw him play 45 minutes against Everton, and man, was he magnificent in that game. In the first half, there were a lot of duels where Jorginho was getting beaten. One-on-one, we know Jorginho is not the best. And the likes of Onana, Gay, and Iwobi were tearing away from him. And Partey completely nullified all the physical challenge. He is so intelligent in the way he positions his body that almost every attempt to be physical against Partey turned into a foul. And when it wasn't, he was in full control of the ball. So I expect him to start against Bournemouth. It would be nice maybe to see him off. Arteta did confirm that Jorginho is fit. He said he was ill in the first half against Everton, and he's fine now. So this might be a case where maybe we're 3-0 up and Partey is able to maybe get some rest and Jorginho finishes the game. We'll see.
Okay. Yeah, I expect to see an open game. I don't expect Bournemouth to sit tighten. That's not the way to play. This Gary O'Neill team is they would like to play their heart and express themselves, even though they are playing with relegation, which I think they'll probably end up in relegation. But we should take our chances. This is one of the. I know there are no easy games in EPL, but this is one that should be an easy game, and I think it should be a comfortable win for 2-0, 3-0.
So there was a time.
Final comment from Ola. Do you see Bournemouth being relegated, or do you think they have chances of staying up this season?
I don't need a crystal ball to say that. Bournemouth is gone. They're gone to where they belong to, actually. Let's start with that. There was a time in this couple of weeks ago, I was looking at the goal difference between Aston and Manchester City, and it was like maybe it was like 12 to like 13 thereabout. Now, what we've seen lately, we're closing the gap. We're just 6 goal difference. Now, this is the kind of game where we need to take our chances. As an Arsenal, we need to score as many as possible. Those goals just need to keep coming. And I think we have the material. We have a truther that's playing for Arteta like he's been with Arteta all his life. We have Smith Rowe is back. I mean, we saw the few touches the last time. We have the confidence is high. So I don't see why Arsenal should not start scoring from the first minute of this game. I'm literally because if we cannot win decisively, a team that is gone out of the EPL already, all of this they are playing tomorrow is just a formality. They are just they have negative 26 goal difference. And Arsenal has 33.
Wow.
That's a lot. So between the two of us, that's a lot. That's like plus, we've scored more goals than like over like almost 60. That's how good we've been this season against Bournemouth. So I don't want us to slug it out with them. I want this game to be won in the first half. Then let's give opportunity for those guys that are still fit, that are on the bench. Let them come and play. Let them come and show us what they can do when we really, really need them. I want to see Smiro play very well tomorrow. Give him enough time. I want to see the other folks. Let them come and show us what they can do for this. So I see like a 4-0 win. Arsenal will win this game by 4 goals minimum. It can be more than that. So, and I really want maybe us to show that we are not here on top of the table by fluke. I want the Chelsea fans to know that we're not building like the stuff we're building, but we are there.
All right, let's move on to the other games. Villa Palace,
if your coach starts Nketiah, you might not win that game.
Okay, agreed.
All right, quick fire on this one. Just tell me win, lose, draw. Villa Palace, I can tell
you.
That's a tough one. They are equal teams, and I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. It might be a draw. I see a draw in that game.
Okay. Beardo? Villa Palace. Win, lose, or draw.
Zaha is back. Wilfred Zaha is back. With Zaha, if Zaha was there on the last game against Liverpool, they should have won. They should have won that game. Nobody could finish up. Mateta had chances, he missed it. Zaha will be back. Aston Villa, they've struggled. They've been struggling. Coutinho is out. I see a win for Crystal Palace. 2-1 or 2-2. Yeah.
2-1 or 2. 2-1 or 2-2?
3-2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Villa Palace.
I think it's a win for Aston Villa. Aston Villa is playing at home. And I think Crystal Palace have some inconsistency here and there. The last game was somehow okay. Even though they have Zaha coming back, I still don't see how they're going to beat Aston Villa at home. Aston Villa is playing. They have a really good coach. I just don't see how they will win in Aston Villa. Aston Villa has the opportunity to to have 3 points here. Not even a draw. Aston Villa will win this game easily.
Okay. All right. On to the next one. Brighton, West Ham. I'll go the other way around now. Ola, Brighton, West Ham. Win or draw?
Win for Brighton.
Win for Brighton.
On the wing of Mitoma, and some other guys are there. Easy win, not easy win. A win for Brighton.
Okay. Beardo?
I would expect Brighton to win with that disappointing game against Fulham, which they lost. West Ham has not been great. Now, they saved Moyes' job last week, which was unbelievable. I mean, that's something you expect, right? It was the same thing that happened when Benitez was going to lose his job. How Moyes is going to repeat that, I don't know. If there's still that kind of, ability to rally around the troops to say, hey, we got to fight relegation. But that was disappointing against Man United when you were a goal up during the week with an FA, FA opportunity to stay in the FA Cup. So I think that'll probably demoralize them. I don't know if they can repeat that kind of energy and commitment to save their manager's job. And that might be the way out for Moyes. But the two of them are in a very surprising situation that Brighton will probably win. I just don't know what the consequences might be for David Moyes, but I think they will win.
I can tell you.
A draw.
Interestingly, I'm seeing a 3-2 win for West Ham in this game. I think they'll pull it out of the bag, but let's see.
Fight. What is the motivation? What made you say that? Is he fighting relegation? Is he trying to prove that we're still a top team? I'm trying to see what the motivation is.
I think it's the quality in that they are now able to finish up front. They've depended a lot on Jared Bowen because Antonio wasn't delivering, but I think with the purchase of Danny Ings, they're able to have some firepower up front. And we saw last weekend he could have even had a hat trick. So I think Danny Ings will bail them out again.
Okay.
All right. Chelsea Leeds. We've talked about this a lot. You know, there are games where we've expected Potter will be fired, and it looks like, you know, the management is sticking with him, come what may, rain or shine. We know it's been a lot of rain, a lot of cloudy days. Akintayo, how do you see this game against Leeds going?
Honestly, I don't know. That's I don't. Whenever I go watch any Chelsea game now, I'm always like, my hand is always near my heart because I don't know what can happen at any moment. So honestly, I think it should be a game they should win. It should be the beginning of, you know, a change in the whole whatever. But I see a win, but like I said, I can't trust them like that.
You never know.
Right now, yeah, I see a win.
Okay,
a narrow win.
A narrow win. Biodu, do you see Chelsea winning this game? Or is this another Potter loss?
They keep disappointing me. Last week I said they were gonna was it draw or something? I expect them to win. The problem is I wake up to see the lineups and I get disappointed because there are players that can do better, and I don't know why he keeps playing Havertz as a striker when you bought strikers, but you don't trust them. So how do you win without scoring? You know what
You're referring to Aubameyang and Fofana?
Not really, no. I think that other guy is I think it's David Fofana that I think should be given a chance to play. And I think Sterling played better than he had ever played for Chelsea since in acquisition. He started taking players one-on-one, which he hasn't done since he was brought to Chelsea. So if he could do that and have a real striker up front, I think they have a chance. The challenge is Leeds United with the energy. If they keep that up, they might shock Chelsea again. And that's the problem. They might shock Chelsea. But I really don't see them as favorite to win this game. I think Chelsea will probably win. They need a win. This is a new month. They had no win in February. They scored only one goal in February. Right?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they scored
only one win in January as well.
Yeah, one goal in February and one goal in January. This is a new month. I think you guys should march forward.
Right? Ola, do you think there's a turnaround for Chelsea?
It's a draw again, as usual.
Another draw.
Okay. I just don't see it right now. Until Potter is asked to leave.
I think Chelsea might actually nick it, like Akintayo said. I think there might be a slim win in here, but we'll see. All right, Wolves, Spurs. Spurs are hoping to hang on to their Champions League spots. The news that we have is that Conte will still be out for this game, and they've been doing well under the assistant manager. He should be back on Sunday, though. Biodo, do you see a win for Spurs again in this game, or will they be held away at Wolves?
Against Wolves, I think they should win. The challenge with this Spurs is they also have not been consistent with results, but I expect them to win. And I think the work from home with Conte has been really helpful. So if you continue working from home. So yeah, I see a win. Wolves is not Wolves shouldn't pose a problem in the way I'm looking at things. So Spurs, we know the way they play, right? Yeah. They're gonna contain you, and they have players that are able to break, and those chances will come. They had a very good game against Chelsea. They had a very good game against Chelsea, so I expect them to repeat that. It should be a win for Spurs.
I can tell you, same win for Spurs.
Wolves win.
Wow. Okay.
Wolves is at home. They are home, and they beat Liverpool. And Tottenham is not consistent too.
This is true. Ola,
Yeah, so
A win for Spurs. I think
a win for Spurs.
Spurs will win.
Hurricane hat trick.
No, not a hat trick. It's gonna be goals are coming from Hurricane, Richarlison, and probably Song in second half.
Okay. Interesting start for you. Son has never scored against Wolves in his career. So it sounds like this might be the day he breaks the duck.
That's it's gonna be, and I'm actually gonna play him in my fantasy just to let you guys know.
Okay.
I'm so confident.
All right. And the last game of Saturday, Southampton Leicester.
Southampton is gone. They are out of the Premier League. There's no way in this game Leicester is gonna win. And Southampton looks like they've given up on the season already, except for the fact that Chelsea had Chelsea disappointed everybody by letting Southampton win them, defeat them. That's a horrible game. But I don't see them doing that against Leicester. Leicester seems to have the attackers back, the midfielder Madsen is back. They are playing a very good game. This is the kind of game that you see them because Leicester is a mid-table team, for all you care. For them playing a Southampton who is already in relegation, in my own opinion, they will beat them. We play this game home or away. Leicester is going to beat them with the current form of Leicester. Yeah.
Biodo, same.
I think it might be a draw. I don't think Southampton is going to lose against Leicester. Leicester is not the Leicester that we used to know. They've been struggling this season, and I'm not sure if Madison is back. They play better when
Madison is back. He's available.
Right.
He was out. He missed the last game due to illness against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Southampton has actually shocked people this season. They could shock Leicester again. I know they're still in that relegation battle, but hey, they beat Chelsea. Home and away.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
a draw.
A draw. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I see a Leicester win, but we'll find out. All right, on to the Sunday games. We already covered Liverpool, Man U. We'll look at Everton and Forest. Everton started off with a bang under Shondash, 1-0 win at Arsenal, and then it's all falling apart since then. Is this a revival against a fellow, relegation battler? Although Forest managed to climb their way out, could they maybe suck Forest back in? I can tell you.
I think it's going to be a draw too. They are the same level. Southampton, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest and Everton, same level.
And Everton.
So they probably end up.
You see goals or a ball 0-0 draw?
Yeah, probably 1-1 draw.
1 draw.
Yeah.
There's still a chance for Everton to escape relegation. It's going to be a draw. I'll stick with a draw as well. Nottingham Forest is not going to give up. I think they have a very bad game the last time, so they have a better chance of surviving than Everton. Everton's results, like I told you, you were optimistic that Shondash could keep that energy up. I don't see that happening. I think they'll probably get a draw. Nothing more than that.
Ola, are you keeping the trend?
No, I see a chance here for Everton to win. I'll call it a win for Everton.
Okay. I think the issue with this game or with Shondash as well is that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is struggling with injury. He's been in and out this season, and I think the way Shondash plays, he needs a hold-up man, and Mope hasn't been that guy for them. So I think they could struggle. I actually see a Forest win in this game.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Last but not least, going on to Monday, Brentford against Fulham. Brentford, we know Ivan Toney has, pleaded guilty to some of the charges levied against him in terms of gambling. He was charged for betting between 2017 and 2021, although he will be available for this game. So how do we see this going? Biodo?
It's going to be a tough game. Fulham has been very, very impressive this season. They're going to play against a physical side, Brentford, playing at home. And Brentford takes their home game very serious. Honestly, I think it will end up in a 2-2 draw.
Okay. I saw Akintaya raising his hands. Are you going for the same? Same. 2-2 draw.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Fulham is going to miss Paulinho in the midfield, and that's it's like a Casemiro for them. It's the one that does the dirty jobs and everything. So there's going to be a gap in that place. It's going to be a 2-2 draw.
All I'll say is that I've seen Brentford play without even Tony this season. What happened? Mbena took the show, took the game personal, and they actually won that game. So this was maybe before, that was end of last year. I think it was in December. Even Tony had injury, and Mbena played one of the best game of his life. I've been watching it. I think the other players, whether Everton plays or not, I think this Brentford team has the capability of winning at home against Fulham. Fulham has a good team. I'll say this game will end up being a 1-1 draw. That's the only calling for this weekend. 1-1 draw, Brentford, Fulham.
All three of you see draws. Why am I seeing a Brentford win then at home?
Gut instinct.
We will see. All right, and I think that's it. We've gone through all the games, so it's bound to be exciting. City and Newcastle will kick us off in the morning, and we look forward to another fun game week 25 in the EPL. Thanks, guys. Thanks for sticking with us, and watch out again for our next recording next week.
All right. Bye for now.
Bye for now. Yeah, bye.